Hey guys, how you going? Hope you're all doing very well. This evening I'm going to be doing a review of a thriller from France. Even though it's a French film, it's spoken in the English language, so you don't have to contend with any subtitles. Released in the year 2008, directed by Eric Zonka, and this film is called Julia. And the story to Julia is as follows. Julia is a uniquely unnerving, edge-of-your-seat thriller starring critically acclaimed Academy Award winner Tilda Swinton in a tour-de-force performance. Julia is an alcoholic, unreliable, manipulative, and a compulsive liar, all strung out beneath her flamboyant exterior. Between vodka and one-night stands, she gets on by nickel and dime jobs. Increasingly lonely, her alcohol-induced confusion reinforces her belief that she has been dealt a losing hand and she is not to blame for the mess she has made of it. Glimpsing imminent perdition, a chance encounter with a Mexican woman convinces Julia to engage in a violent kidnapping and eventual murder, as much in panic and despair as for financial gain. Her journey becomes a headlong collision course and an inevitable choice of life over death. So Julia, played by Tilda Swinton, she is an alcoholic, very untrustworthy individual. She goes out to nightclubs, she goes with one-night stands, and she seems to have no life whatsoever. Her life has got no direction, and she just seems like a hopeless case. But she is not taking responsibility because she believes that life has dealt her a harsh hand. So she's always looking for other people to blame. She's never taking responsibility. So one day, just when she thinks her life is going to be absolutely nothing, she is approached by this Mexican woman. Now, the Mexican woman tells her about her son, and that she wants her son back because she split up with the father, and the son has been taken in by the grandfather. Now, the grandfather is very rich, and the grandfather won't let this Mexican woman see the son because this Mexican woman has problems that prevents her from being a safe sort of environment for the young boy. So Julia is told about a plan. Now the plan is for the Mexican lady to arrange so that Julia can kidnap her son and take her back to him. And so Julia is a little bit skeptical about this. She's very, very reluctant. But then the Mexican woman says that there is going to be a very handsome reward if she chooses to do this and does this successfully. So after a while, Julia finally gives in and she accepts this proposal because she feels that her life is in a very desperate situation and she needs the money to get out of it. So getting out of it is certainly not what she does. In fact, once she kidnaps the boy, things get a lot more complicated and her life very quickly spirals well out of control. And she goes into a very dangerous path featuring human traffickers in Mexico. So that's all I'm going to give you on the synopsis. If you want to know more, please go out there and see this film for yourself. Now my thoughts on Julia. Unfortunately, this movie is not as good as it sounds. Now, when I read the back of this, the blurb on the back, I thought, I'm in for a treat here because it promises to be an electrifying thriller. It says on the back, Tilda Swinton is magnetic, a terrific and terrifying watch. Electric, Julia demands to be reckoned with, a messy, nervy, frequently exhilarating thriller. So after I read all that, I thought, why not give it a shot? It wasn't too expensive, so I wasn't, risking a lot. But with Tilda Swinton in it, I thought definitely it's going to be memorable. Unfortunately, the best thing about Julia is that, yes, Tilda Swinton's performance is absolutely incredible. I think this is her best performance. I think she played Julia to perfection. She was a very, very annoying character, but she had a lot of qualities about her that made her likable. So on one hand, you could see her for the very juvenile, sort of irresponsible individual that she was. And then as the movie goes on, you feel her plight, you feel her desperation, you feel that, yeah, she is an idiot, but you can understand her situation, you can understand why she chooses to do certain things. So I thought that character was the best part of the movie, and her performance, as I said, it shows her versatility. I think she is one of the best actresses in the world, and Julia is a prime example of why she is considered such, a force to be reckoned with as far as actresses are concerned, because she has a vast range of characters in her acting repertoire. She can play a good villain, she can play a good hero, and she also plays a good character like she plays in this film, which is not so much a hero, it's not so much a villain, it's just a woman that is deeply troubled and trying to make something of her seemingly hopeless life. So Julia, the character, was the best part of the film, but unfortunately that character alone was not enough to lift the film above what was a very disappointing experience. Now, biggest problem with the movie is that it starts off very well, and then it goes into a massive lull, and then it hits up and it finishes very well. And I actually thought the end, right at the end, I thought it made you think, and it made you think about this character. It gave you renewed hope for this character. I thought that it was just a really thought-provoking way and a very good way to end the movie. But unfortunately, for me, the problem with the ending was the fact that it takes so long to get there. And that middle period feels like a manic depressive. You've got highs, the manic high, and then the manic low, and then the manic highs. And that's, if you have manic depression, that's what you go through. And that's exactly what I felt going through this film, is that you start off on a real high, and then all of a sudden you go really, really low, where nothing happens. The characters don't seem to go anywhere. The dialogue is boring. It doesn't seem to progress the story. It just feels like the director is stuck. He's waiting for an opportunity to get back up there, and he's just using meaningless dialogue to basically pass the time. It feels like the movie goes for 138 minutes. Feels like at the start of the movie, and I'm sorry, my nose is very itchy. It feels like at the start of the movie, the director was given 138 minutes to play with, and he had to fill that quota up. Even though he didn't have the material to make a 138-minute film, he had to do it. So what he's done, he's had a great start, and then in the middle, it's just a time filler. And it was just a really boring time filler, and it killed all the continuity the film had going for it. Therefore, it is not a very good thriller. It's not a very good sort of character study. Apart from Julia, I thought the rest of the cast just weren't that interesting enough. I thought the little boy that she kidnapped, it started off interesting, but he just become very irritating. Obviously, being at that age, it's not going to be a terribly insightful character. But I just thought the exchanges between Julia and the little boy was just not interesting enough to make the experience worth it. So you're constantly looking at the time thinking, hurry up, come on, let's just start this again. Let's just get back to what made the film good in the first place, the first few minutes. Let's just get to the kidnapping thing. You can kind of see where the story wants to go, but it's just taking way too long to get there. As I said in previous reviews of films that have the same sort of problem, it's like the person that tells a story, you know that the point they're trying to make, but they like to drag it out so much. So you're thinking to yourself, I know what you're trying to say, get to the point, stop dragging it out. That's exactly what you feel about Julia. And that was a great pity because it did have a lot of likable qualities in it, but unfortunately that terrible lull in the middle just prevented it from being the masterpiece that a lot of people are saying it is. So if you like Julia, I do apologise. There are glimpses of really good material. There are some soul-searching moments in the film. There are some pretty horrific moments, especially at the end. I thought the Mexican sort of cartel at the end, near the end, that's not a spoiler by the way, but when the bad guys start getting into it, I thought it was really chilling. But unfortunately, it's few and far between. The saving grace of the film is not enough to basically prevent it from sinking, ultimately making it a very disappointing and overrated sort of film. So it's not a movie I'm going to recommend. If anything, I would say check it out for Tilda Swinton's performance, but it's not enough to make it worthwhile. So unfortunately for Julia, I'm only going to give this one 2.5 stars. I was disappointed, and I'm sure a lot of people out there will be as well. Alright guys, that's my review. Hope you enjoyed it. Till next time, keep watching movies, and I'll see you soon. Bye.